This is another what attributes are crucial for what positions the centre back edition, bruv. As you can see, we've got 3 different centre backs, bruv. Apart from the libero, that's the one that can only go right in the middle of a back 3, bruv. That's the only way you can find a libero. But yeah, the first one we've got is the no nonsense centre back, bruv, and that's why I've got Eric Bailly right here. It's so self-explanatory, bruv. Look at what Eric Bailly is like in real life. He does not give a flying fuck, bruv. Like the way he dives in, he's injured all the time because of it. Because the stats that you would need are the pace, tackling, and they don't even need composure. Tackling, bravery, anticipation, aggression. Those 3 right there, you would actually need them as well. Determination, work. You need the grit and just tackling really. So yeah, that's why I chose Eric Bailly. Cool. Bouncer. You know, like if you was to go to a club, never been, but if you was to go to a club, yeah, there's bouncers. They don't really come to you, but they're standing at the door, bruv. That's what this no centre back on defend is. The aim of it is just to stay back. Don't let anyone through in it, like unless like it's no the bouncer was the wrong analogy, but you get what I mean. No nonsense. Oh my god. Next we've got no nonsense centre back on cover. I like to have one on defend, one on cover, just so you can like sweep the balls that come behind, bruv. You see the through balls and that's all they're there for really. When they're on no nonsense, they don't play out from the back, they just boot it out. Next we've got the libero. Now this is a very weird one, but it's only available in the middle of a back 3, and the stats that you would need are the same as a deep lying playmaker. For example, a good pivot, minimum, let's say 13, first touch, anticipation, and make the right decisions, bruv. And Laporte is the perfect example because he's got all of those above 14. So that's very good still. So yeah, they're literally deep line playmakers. They push forward, leaving a back 2. It's like an extra player just roaming around, bruv. On support especially, man's roaming around, but he's a bit less direct than the one that's on attack, bruv. Like that one's a bit more direct, trying to get goals and that. But yeah, that is why I got Laporte there, because he's got all of the stats that you would need for a libero. Next we've got central defender, bruv. This is literally a balance between ball playing and no nonsense, bruv. Even if it's not equal, to be fair, as long as they can do both, then you can pull off the central defender, because it is central. It's in between both of them, innit? So yeah, you would need a good pivot and tackling to be roughly the same. That's what I always look for a central defender still. The ones on defend, they stay back. Like, I'll just keep on using the bouncer analogy, bruv. Just stay back. Don't let anyone through, bruv. Like, let's say a security guard, not even a bouncer, a security guard, because bouncers do let people through. A security guard just stays there, bruv. Don't let no one through still. Yeah, that's what a central defender on defender on stopper needs to step out a bit more. Mean that you'd probably require a higher pivot. You might need a better pivot than that still. But movement needs to be a bit better. I mean, no, 13, and it's calm, to be fair. So yeah, Diaz is a very good example. I can't lie. He will step out as a stopper still. Those are the stats that you would cover. You would need a bit more pace, because 13 is under average by 1. But for a centre back, it's not that bad, to be fair. You would also need better positioning than that. I mean, no. You would need positioning similar to this. Like 17 is like very, very good still. So yeah, for a central defender on cover, they're looking to stop through balls and that, so they're gonna need better positioning so they know like where to be in it, especially if they don't have pace, bruv, for little offside traps and that. So yeah, that is Ruben Diaz, and that's why I chose him for the central defender. The ball playing defender on defend, bruv. Now, what you would need is composure, anticipation, and a good pivot, bruv, to play out from the back effectively in it, and first touch as well. And they usually have dribbling, although I recommend you don't dribble with your centre backs. He can in it. But this is Laporte. There's many centre backs that have good pivots out there, so this isn't like rare, bruv. So yeah, ball playing defenders need good pivots. Like, I always think of them as CDMs, bruv. Like deep line playmakers playing as centre backs, bruv. Don't get twisted. When they're on defend, they do need to be able to tackle the ball though, like they do. So you need a little bit of a not a balance, but just competent tackling, bruv, like to back up the pivot. That's what you would need still. So yeah, that's why I got Laporte there. For the ball playing defender on stopper will look to step out, bruv. Similar to a libero, but not really similar, but they both step out in it, but this one just steps out a bit less in it. With or without the ball, they'll step out either way. You're gonna need pace. Laporte's got the pace, bruv. Good positioning is needed for the movement in terms of stepping out and that, especially if you're trying to like, I don't know. Now the offside trap usually applies for the cover one, if I'm being real. But yeah, stepping out that just stops them from getting into the box. That's what you're trying to do by asking them to go and stop us still. So yeah, that's why once again I've got Laporte there. I've got the ball playing defender on cover. This is literally to stop people from getting in behind, bruv. When they're a ball playing defender, they do play out from the back instead of just booting it out though. If they do sweep it up, so that's the difference from like a sensual or no nonsense. They will actually try and like play out from the back still. So that's what you would use if you're trying to like keep the ball from the back. Yeah. You would need pace and a good pivot for that as well. Anticipation, first touch, those kind of things there. So yeah, that is why once again I've got Laporte there. Perfect examples for the three defenders. So I never usually use a libero, so I'm not even going to involve it in this year. But I've got the three positions here. If I had to choose one to keep and the rest of them to absolutely just destroy, yeah, man will keep the ball playing defender still, because that one does a lot of service. And I've kept best defenses in the league by playing wing back attacks and two ball playing defenders. So there's no real reason to slap no nonsenses there unless you're trying to like park it up completely in it. So yeah, that's why I would use the ball playing defenders still. So yeah, that is the centre back edition for the crucial attributes that you would need. Shout out Oguzu and K. So yeah, you man, if you like that video, subscribe to the content you know what to expect from me, and I'll see you in the next episode, bruv.